This two-story structure is the furthest most house in the village of Sasunik. It's also the first to face Mount Ararat. As the homeowner, Mrs. Sophia says, the residents of the community are farmers and descendants of refugees from Sassoon and Van. Look, they've started growing here. Mrs. Sophia's beloved flowers always grow abundantly out of the stony soil of the village. I will plant more flowers this year. They're beautiful, infinitely beautiful. I'll plant nothing but flowers here. And over there, I'll plant some vegetables like peppers and tomatoes for the house. This winter has been particularly harsh. Mrs. Sophia suspects that the sweetbriar bush in the yard has been struck by frostbite. The weather forecast for the end of the season is being announced on television, but Mrs. Sophia has her doubts about the forecast. Girl, what you're saying doesn't correspond to reality. The poor things just don't know. They make a forecast, but the next day the weather turns out to be quite the opposite. You know, we were talking one day and I said, man, the weather today is like our brains. Just like we might change our minds a few times a day, so does the weather. She's home alone today. Her son and daughter-in-law are at work, and her grandchild is at the kindergarten. Mrs. Sophia has run the community's old kindergarten for 45 years. I was very happy with my work. I've worked hard and never had a major problem. Sasunik's old kindergarten closed its doors after the collapse of the Soviet Union. As a result, preschoolers were sent to the kindergarten of nearby Ashtarak. 2 years ago, Mrs. Sophia heard the Hayastan All-Armenian Fund was building a large kindergarten in Sasunik. She was invited to the opening ceremony, but she couldn't go. Her heart was too heavy for a celebration. In Voskepar, a bomb had went off and killed my son. It's been 2 years since his death, so I was in no mood to attend a celebration. Only recently did Mrs. Sophia agree to go to see the new kindergarten. The mayor had offered her a job as a consultant at the school, and she had accepted. No matter how old you are, you've got to work. When your mental faculties are still there, when your memory is still functioning and everything is normal, why wouldn't you work? What's holding you back? She shuts the door of her house behind her, but doesn't lock it. It's how it is in the village, she says. If someone gets home and needs the key, it's right there on the door. Sasunik's new kindergarten was built in 2015 with the support of the Hayastan All-Armenian Fund's British Armenian benefactors. Children as young as 2 years old are admitted to the kindergarten, which currently has 80 students. The bread for the kindergartens is made at the village bakery, and the fruits will come from the kindergarten's orchard. These trees were planted last year. It's lovely, so very beautiful. I'm going in to share my impressions with the principal. It was built and furnished by the Hayastan All-Armenian Fund's affiliate in Great Britain. Mrs. Sophia goes through the rooms. She says there can be no comparison with the old kindergarten. Oh, for God's sake, let's not even talk about the old kindergarten. Wow, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. As she enters the children's nap room, the anxious grandma wants to know where her grandson is. Hey, girl, where's my grandson sleeping? She asks around as she goes from one room to the next. There you are, darling. Hi. Bravo, all of you, bravo. As he sees his grandma, Armin decides it might be time to go home. Now go sit in your place, sweetheart. Do you want to come home with me? Grandma isn't sure she's doing the right thing. It's not even noon yet, and she still has a lot to do in her orchard. With her grandson with her, she won't have enough time to trim that frost-bitten sweetbriar. Had I known you'd be crying like this, I wouldn't even gone into that room to see you.